We are officially, for the first time, live on Patreon, TikTok, and YouTube at the same time. Wow, I feel very seen right now. Drink your water. Peace, blessings, and living light love to you all. I do genuinely hope that you are all doing well today. Okay. There we go. Of course, my name is Hassan Ajaye. I am the agent of the light, and I am the Vishwara Numa, or Universal Guide of the Living Light Society, which is the spiritual ministry here to help awaken the spark of living light within you. If you would like more information on how you can join us, please email livinglight to agentofthelight19@gmail.com. Again, that's agentofthelight19@gmail.com. This is actually an impromptu live. I was actually planning on going live tomorrow with another episode of either wound care on my TikTok or another live stream of the day, whatever the energy of the day spoke towards. But today speaks to a different type of energy that has a translation, as I refer to my downloads, to share with you all. Again, I am live on my Patreon. I am live on YouTube, my personal YouTube, not my Agent of the Light YouTube. And I'm also live on TikTok as well. For those of you who are on TikTok, patreon.com/the Agent of the Light, and also youtube.com/ and then that @ Agent of the Light. For those of you who are on YouTube, patreon.com/the Agent of the Light, as well as follow me on TikTok, tiktok.com, /the Agent of the Light. Wow, we got some people in here. Blessings. Welcome. For those of you who are on Patreon, YouTube / and that @ the agent, or excuse me, @ Agent of the Light for my YouTube, and blessings, greetings. And for those of you as well on Patreon, tiktok.com / the Agent of the Light. These are the only platforms that I broadcast my content on. But for those of you on YouTube and for those of you on TikTok, if you would like to be privy to all of the content that I release, please go follow me on Patreon, okay? Patreon.com / the Agent of the Light. So, the reason why I'm live today is because I had a thought to share with you. I actually just came back in from being out on the town a little bit, you know? I spend most of my time working. But I have been making it a point to do nice things for myself, if I'm being honest, you know, and just to take some time to do that. So today, I knew I wanted to go get a coffee and a little sweet, right? And I was gonna come right back here to the house so that I could get to work, right? But I instead decided to stay out for a little while. I was going to sit at the coffee shop that I was at, but I instead changed my mind and went across the street to another place that I have frequented in the past. I haven't been going there recently, but it's a study hall. It's very nice. It's very quiet. They play great music on the radio there, things of that nature. So I went inside and I was sitting on the first floor where some of the general services that are provided there are given. And then I thought about going and sitting upstairs on the top level because they also have a nice top level that you can sit at as well. And then I said, you know what? Let me stay down here for a little while, right? Let me stay down here for a little while. Eventually, I said, you know what? Let me go be where it is that I want it to be, which is sitting up on the top level. They have some seating up there. It's elevated, it's really nice. It's just a really nice building, but I decided that I wanted to go sit on the top level, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this all up. And I ended up drinking the majority of my coffee, having a really nice time with myself, right? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when I was sitting on the bottom level, and I want to preface this by saying I'm not antisocial, okay? I am, however, someone who tends to stay to himself. That's just the way that I operate, right? Whenever I would like to be the life of the party, I can be. I just don't tend to be that. I don't tend to broadcast myself as the life of the party. At one point in time, I really was the life of the party. Like literally, when I was, younger and going to clubs and music festivals and things of that nature when I was in my partying phase, right? Really enjoyed that. I'm at a different phase of my journey of being a human. And there are different things, of course, that I have evolved into coming to enjoy and experience and things of that nature, and there are things that I want to do with my life moving forward that are of a different nature from when I was 21 and 22 and 23, things of that nature. It's not so much the case now, right? So when I went to go and sit up on the top level, on the elevated level of the establishment that I was in, I felt much more comfortable just sitting there, enjoying my coffee, being out in the public, but being with myself, And that is what prompted me to share this message with you all on my Patreon, on my YouTube, and on my TikTok. Do the things that make you feel good in the way that you want to do them. And I'm going to repeat that. Do the things that you want to do in the way that you want to do them. Why am I saying this? Because often when we do things for leisure and entertainment and pleasure, things of that nature, we do it in the image of others, and or we do it from the perspective of being in a group mentality. Like there's a, and of course I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being out with your friends, with your family, with your spouse, things of that nature. Of course not. But there's a type of engineering that has taken place within the construct of society, specifically here in North America, right? Because some of you may be watching this and you may not be at or from North America, meaning the US and Canada, right? But over here, there's a construct that has geared people to behave certain ways in regards to what social activity looks like, specifically with social media, right? And that things are architected in such a way that what looks enjoyable and what looks good to people is by way of who their favorite content creators are and how they do things, or who their favorite celebrity is, or who their favorite musical artist is, or who their favorite athlete is, and the way that they enjoy their lives. We have grown so accustomed to experiencing life vicariously. And it is, personally speaking, this is the way I personally feel, all right? This is Hassan Ajaye's opinion. It's scary, man. How much of ourselves people are not being. It's very alarming to see how people's thoughts and specifically emotions, because what I'm saying to you all right now on the 3 different audiences that I'm on is greetings, blessings, living light love to you. What I'm saying to you all right now is directly associated with emotional intelligence. It is directly associated with emotional intelligence. Why is that? Because when you go out and you seek to be the life of the party, and you have, oh, no, thank you for the co-host. Sad Taco. Okay. I'm going to decline that, but thank you. I appreciate it. Somebody named Sad Taco wanted to join my TikTok live. Some of the names that people come up with on social media are hilarious. Anyway, when you go out and you want to be the life of the party, and you're the most flamboyant with your energy, and you're in places, public places, and you're being loud and rambunctious, and you're having a good time. There's nothing wrong with having a good time, right? And especially considering when you're at places like clubs and things of that nature, like I used to go to, right? It's loud in there. I don't like these places now at this point in my life because I like to do things that are peaceful, right? I like to do things where I can enjoy my own energy without such heavy external stimulation, right? I don't like to be so heavily externally stimulated now because my experience is far more intrinsic than it was extrinsic. A lot of what I experience happens within me. And that's just being human. A lot of my experience has moved in here. Dare I say, if not all of it. But anyway, people having loud conversations with their friends or their spouse or their family members, things of that nature. Why do people do this? Let me ask y'all that. Why do people do that? Why do people speak loudly in public? Why do people need you to hear? Okay. Why do people... I'm going to continue. Why do people need you to hear their conversation? Why do people need you to hear their conversation? When the person that you're speaking to is like the distance from where I'm sitting to where my laptop is sitting, which is right there. It's not that far, right? Why do people need you to hear their conversation? And it's a one-word answer, if I'm being honest. And the answer is attention. Just checking on my fruit. I have some frozen fruit that is that's thawing. I was going to use another word besides thawing, but that's an inside joke. Anyway, see, a lot of my experience has moved in here. Anyway, it's for attention. That's it. It's for attention. And dare I say, beloved audience on Patreon, YouTube, and TikTok, dare I say that attention seeking is the most powerful drug that there is. Seeking attention is very dangerous to the person doing it. And it is a byproduct of lack of emotional intelligence. Why is that? Because emotions, in and of themselves, are designed to move. Thoughts are designed to move too, but emotions move at a much more rapid pace than thoughts do. You even have a neuronal based system within your heart. There are actually more neurons in the heart than there are in the brain. Which means what? Your heart thinks too. Your heart actually gets a message and sends a signal first before your brain does, which then translates into a thought, no matter where it comes from. So if people, and I will also add that emotions are designed, to a certain degree at least, to make us think and feel, to make us do this. Emotions are designed to make us do that, to go out, right? That we may find something that is the correlation of our feeling that may validate what it is that we're feeling. Does that make sense? When we feel something, whoa, that's different. When we feel something, there has been a lot that has been happening since I've been streaming. Okay. When we feel something, you know what that feeling prompts us to do? It not only prompts a thought, but it prompts us to go outward to seek an external correlation, something in the outside plane, to validate what it is that we feel or that we felt. That is natural. But when you're always doing that, see, here's where the attention seeking comes in. When you're always doing that, when something external has to validate your emotion, and the emotion itself is not validated by your recognition of it, that's where you get people who seek attention and don't feel any validation for their own experience outside of that, outside of the attention that they get, which is where you get both men and women who have obnoxiously loud conversations. And that's just one example, but have these obnoxiously loud conversations in public, because not only do they need the person that they're talking to hear them, but they need you and you and you and you and possibly the people that are working and possibly people outside to hear them too. They need all the attention to come in this way. All of it from everyone. From people having their own conversations, and people eating their food, and people doing their work on their laptops, and people sipping on their beverages and minding their business. to people just coming in to get the service and then leaving. They need everybody to hear them. And so I ask you, Patreon, TikTok, YouTube, is that emotionally intelligent people? Is that a sign of emotional intelligence? That everything that I do in some form or fashion is always validated by way of something or someone external from me. Because if that's the case and that's the way that people are always moving, there's nothing wrong with wanting the experience with someone else to validate, yes, what it is that you may be thinking or what it is that you may be feeling, because that's human interaction. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when it's a constant that it becomes akin to a drug. That it's something that it's that neurochemical firing off that you constantly need and you crave it. This is where you get people who have people in their lives that they talk to and that they go out with and that they end up being in relationships with and that they have sexual relations with, but it's all actually just background noise. They don't even really care about these people. It's just background noise. Is that right? To have somebody in your life as background noise because you don't want to be with yourself? No, that's not right. That's attention seeking. It's a very powerful drug. This is coming from someone who used to attention seek a lot, who naturally knows how to be with and by himself. Naturally. Naturally, I know how to do this. Naturally, I do this, right? But who sought relationships and friendships and work acquaintances and things of that nature because I was afraid to be alone. Which, if I'm being honest with you, most of the time is actually more enjoyable than being with people. That's my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I don't know how to be around people. Doesn't mean I don't want to be around people. It means that the relationship that I have with me is good. I hope that you can say the same, that the relationship that you have with you is good. And if it's not, ask yourself, why do I not have a good relationship with me? Why don't I have a good relationship with me? And what could be the counteracting force that helps me to create that? That helps me to architect that? Okay, wow. This is the first time that I have been invited to be on people's lives in TikTok, on TikTok, ever. And it's happened twice in the same live. That's interesting. Anyway, so I decided while I was out today that, you know what? That one, I'm going to take a little bit of time to just be, I'm not just going to go get my beverage and my sweet and come right back here. I'm going to get to work anyway. That's what I'm doing right now. Part of what I'm doing right now, right? But I'm going to spend a little time outside. I'm going to spend a little time in the public. But I'm going to spend that time in the public the way that I want to spend that time in the public. Which is why I went to go sit up on the elevated level of the establishment that I was in, right? And it made the time that I was out even more enjoyable. It's not that I didn't want to be around people. It's that I was taking inventory of what it was that I was thinking and what it was that I was feeling as I was more so in the public section of that establishment. And I said, you know what? It'd be more comfortable for me if I went and sat up there. And that may seem minuscule and like something that's not that big of a deal. Maybe if I wasn't, you know, as analytical about life as I am, which I am, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Maybe in another life that wouldn't have been a big deal. But for me, it was. Why? Because I considered me. Out in the public. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I think that we can all do a better job, this includes me as well, of considering ourselves even more. We are living and existing in such a way that is geared towards living vicariously and not having firsthand experiences, unhealthy ego equations, equating yourself to someone else from a place of unhealthy ego, right? Being emotionally triggered, people going in comment sections and spewing hatred and nasty things for no reason based off of what someone wanted to share on their page on a platform, and they may not necessarily agree with it, so they go and spew hatred instead of just swiping up or swiping left or going to the next thing going to something that they may enjoy, or scrolling until they find something that they enjoy, but instead they'd rather go in the comment section, of something that they're not enjoying and spew hatred about what it is that they're viewing. That's also a sign of a lack of emotional intelligence. And this is what social media in particular has geared people to do, to be hyper opinionated. It has created a grounds through which people's lack of emotional intelligence can roam free. Scary, man. But this is because the things that make us individuals, that make us who we are, fundamentally, as well as who we become in our journeys of life, these things have been demonized today. And if you don't follow what somebody is doing, if you're not, engaged in this person's collective or this person's live or this person's following, you know what I'm saying? If you're not associating yourself with this form of music or that form of music, or if you don't directly choose which political party or their ideologies and beliefs that they connect to, things of that nature, that you ain't nobody. Basically, if you ain't following somebody, then you ain't nobody. This is the society, specifically at North America, that we live in today. If you ain't following nobody, then you ain't nobody. Really? Really? Are you not you? Am I not me? Are we not all our own self? I don't need external validation to be me. I can do something in the way in which I see myself doing it, in the way in which I see myself enjoying it, and that not needing a hooray or a yeah, me too, or, some type of validation from someone else. I don't need that. There's nothing wrong with somebody going, you know what, I like that too. Or you know what, I agree with that. Or you know what, hey, I listen to that artist too. Or I watch that basketball player or that football player or whatever the case may be. I like that team too. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't need it. And that has been built on a foundation of developing emotional intelligence. It's not something that you just wake up with. It's something you have to develop. You have to develop emotional intelligence. You have to go through your own personal gauntlet to become that which now has, or who now has, a great relationship with themselves, which would inherently constitute better relationships with those that you love, right? It would constitute greater quality of relationships. And you're not just creating background noise in your life, but you're actually creating connections with people that mean something, that have a qualitative substance to it. And it's not just, because I done been in friendships like this too, where it's, oh, let's link up, and then we link up, and then we're doing nothing. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a friend or a family member or a spouse, and y'all aren't doing too much either. There's nothing wrong with that. But if that is what consists of the relationship, if eventually one of you decides to ask, what are we really friends for? Or what are we really in a relationship for? And the answer becomes, well, I don't know, or nothing. And y'all have been friends for years. Y'all have been in a relationship together for years. And the answer as to what are we doing here, or you're in a sisterhood group or a brotherhood group for years, and the answer as to what is it that we're doing here inevitably becomes nothing, or the answer to that is nothing, what have you been doing with that time? What could you have been doing with that time? After watching this, Patreon, YouTube, TikTok, after watching this, what will you do with your time? Hopefully, it's something that feels good to you in the way in which you want to do it, whether it involves other people or not. Because ultimately, we have to wake up with and go to sleep with ourselves. So I hope that the way in which you're doing that is satisfactory to who it is that you are and what it is that you like to enjoy and what type of experiences you would like to create for yourself that will help you to experience joy and growth and peace and prosperity and love. May those be the experiences you create, because that's the way that you want to live your life. I know that with the experience that I had today, I'm going to continue to take inventory of myself, and I'm going to do much more of that. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me for this impromptu live on my Patreon, my TikTok, and my YouTube. I do greatly enjoy doing this, and I do hope that those of you who will watch this on the playback, I'm also going to post this for those of you on YouTube, youtube.com/@Agent of the Light. I'm also going to post some shorts and clips of this on my Agent of the Light YouTube as well. And of course, my beloved patrons, you will continue to get access to this live stream so long as you remain a member, right? I'm going to be posting some clips here on TikTok as well, right? Y'all make sure you follow me on these platforms. TikTok audience, go follow me on my YouTube. Go subscribe to my Patreon for $4.99, right? YouTube, go follow my TikTok. Subscribe to my Patreon for $4.99. That is the home of all of my conscious content in which you are empowered, inspired, and informed on things that will help you in your journey of life. And of course, my beloved patrons, I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for directly investing in the channel in which you receive all of this and more. For those of you on YouTube and on TikTok, you can become a member of my Patreon. You can download 2 free gifts in the shop as soon as you sign up. So with that being said, thank you all so much. I will be going live again this weekend. We will either be doing another light stream of the day or another episode of Wound Care, which is my new form of content where we speak about dealing with episodes of trauma, right? And of course, the tagline of that is, you're okay and it's okay, right? So we will either be doing another light stream of the day or another episode of Wound Care. I greatly appreciate everyone who has been tapping into that on TikTok. And for those of you who have been engaging with the clips that I leave on my Patreon and on my YouTube, thank you so much for that as well. Okay, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And I do look forward to seeing you again. My name is Hassan Ajaye. I am the Agent of the Light. And we'll see you next time. Blessings. I got a lot of lives to click off.